Any other questions from committee? Is there any questions, comments from?
A comment, this whole process when it started.
Just in case, just present your name and yourself.
Well, I'm going to Robert from the record. When this process started, I know that money was needed to do this project, and the LBA helped, correct me if I'm wrong, but helped to fund to get this process going so we could have something discussed. And we're going through the process. What's kind of upsetting is that everybody agreed to use a third party to do this, which we did. But to come, for somebody to be able to call to say, write up something different than what you have, even though I know they put draft on it, which is a safe way of doing it, conservative. That's just all wrong, okay? And that, I'm personally gonna go to the city and find out who did that and why they did that, because for many years, there's the trust between staff and the developers has always been questioned. Staff always says, well, we can't trust that you do. So we went out of our way to put out money for a fair, approach to get a third party to evaluate this so that your committee can review this. And they get a phone call to change the numbers. Whose authority, who thought that was okay to do? That's very upsetting to hear. We've had meetings about it. And then for that actual draft to be up there on the screen, in my opinion, there's one report that was sealed, and that's all we should be talking about. Not this draft. That should have been thrown out. It should never have been presented. And to get down to the nitty-gritty to find out who was authorized to make that phone call to CEC to get them to write that. That has to be talked about, because we're trying to do something that's fair for both parties, the city and the development community. And to find out, the citizens, of course, and to find out that that's been manipulated, how do the citizens trust that we're doing something right? They're not gonna trust us. Here we tried to get outside money invested because the city said they didn't have money, so we were able to do that. To go back to the people that gave that money, which was, I don't know how much it was, 50,000, 20,000?
It was 32 or 33,000.
And to find out somebody tried to manipulate the numbers, that's embarrassing. If the media gets a hold of that, that's all kinds of wrong. And I think then that distracts us from the real issue that we're trying to get to because of that. I'm upset about it. I don't think that should have happened. I don't know why it happened, but somebody's going to be put on fireline for that, because when are we going to change to where we can get some, fair discussion from a third party that has nothing to do with this? All they're doing is presenting numbers, and we can't even do that right. That's upsetting to me. And I know that we're trying to figure out a way to make things cost effective for all of us, for the development community and the city, but we can't even do a fair job at this, and that's upsetting. If I'm incorrect, please correct me, but I'm upset about that because I don't think that should have happened.
I wish to speak. I know, and I just hope there's not a confusion, and I hope there's nothing being indirectly, I guess what's the word, interpreted. We did have a phone call, I'll say the names, Ramon, myself, Ted with CEC. When it came to our first evaluation, our comment is make a decision, whatever it is. If it's going to stay or it's going to change, and that was about it. From our end, we never told anybody, write this, or made any, or I guess from the comments made from the last meeting, there's no threats, no nothing like that. We just wanted pretty much a recommendation, a yay or nay. From the last report, when you read that draft, there's really no direct recommendation. So that was our main comment, is give us a recommendation. Do you want us to keep the easels or change the easels? So when the report got drafted again, it said to keep the easels. But never did we state, oh, keep it like that, you put this.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it just, the point is, why was that phone call made? That the city, if they want that information to be looked at, should be presented to the committee, not a direct phone call to a third party. It should be coming to this committee. If you all justify it, you make the phone call to the group through the committee. But for directors to sit in a room and make that phone call? Under whose authority? I mean, whose authority to do that? Who gave you that authority? That's a third party. That's what's upsetting about this.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I'm going to clarify that. We did not tell anybody to put specifically those comments in there. If it's us that we're talking about, like I'm signing up and telling you right now, we did not tell them to write that. So if there's some other stuff, hey, I have nothing to say about that. But from our end, building, and since we were in charge of the RFQ, pretty much we were saying, make a decision, yay or nay.
Were they not making a decision? Is that what was going on?
So, I guess, well, just to,
And to add to that, the drafts were forwarded to the committee also. And we emailed them, provide comments, provide questions, if anything. Because as part of the RFQ, it's up to us just to review and pretty much just ask questions. In no sense it was manipulating such data as such. Yeah.
Can I say just something real quick? I mean, and I understand your point, but if you look at the numbers, there is a recommendation there. A solid recommendation is to lower the ESOL counts. But that have to be written out. I mean, and I'm not an engineer, and I can tell you that. So the undue burden that you all put on the third-party consultant, I mean, it's not right to make them make a decision because they just said it a while ago. They're engineers. They're going to be conservative. They're going to go the conservative route. And at the end of the day, there's unintended consequences to the ESOL counts the way they are today. People cannot afford to buy homes anymore. And, I mean, we can build this panacea here in Laredo that people can't afford. And if the ESOL counts if their report would have come in and said it needs to be 1 million, you know what? Let's go back and let's continue the way we're doing it. But that's not the case. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've had streets that fail. We go back and repair them, and we move on down the road. I've had streets that have lasted for 20 years. I build truck courts that we do 10.5 inches or 10 inches of caliche, 2.5 inches of asphalt. Truck courts in the industrial park that last 20 years, done properly. And so to ask them for the recommend, I mean, it's here. Yeah. And I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm going to go to the city council and I'm going to ask them, here are the numbers. This is what we should go for, not go to mediation or compromise. I mean, it just, and I wouldn't be, and I see it happen all the time. I see it happen all the time. And it just is not right. I mean, with Orly's camp, I mean, it's not right. It really isn't.
Any additional comments or